to discuss the historic appointment of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as the new chief of the World Trade Organization and what it means for Africa. Joining me now is the managing partner of GBS Africa, Agnes. Agnes Gitau joins me this evening from London. Good evening, Agnes. Welcome to the program. Let's go straight. Congratulations to the world of women. I think this perhaps should have happened yesterday, the 14th of February. But it's okay. It's a love still in the air. So what is your shopping list or to-do list for the new WTO Director General, especially for developing countries like in frontier Africa?
Thank you, Boston. It's a great day for Nigeria. It's a great day for the continent, as you rightly put it. I think to have an African and more so an African woman who understands the challenges of developing and emerging nations like Africa, countries in Africa, is an opportunity for the continent. So on the shopping list, as Dr. Ngozi rightly put it, the first priority is to rebrand WTO, rejuvenate the body, and restore the confidence that this multilateral body is able to drive economic growth that is sustainable and that all members can benefit from trade.
Okay, so the new Director General in an acceptance speech spoke about reforming the WTO. What's your thoughts on how this huge 73-year-old organization can be made to be fit for purpose, quote unquote, using Dr. Iweala's phrase?
You know, a lot of members of WTO have complained of the fact that big economies like China have had a monopoly at the WTO, at the global trade. And we saw prior to this, we saw the US-China wars based on the fact that US and other economies felt that China had sort of taken over the global trading system. So Dr. Ngozi first has to be able to bring all the members together on the same table to speak in one voice. So her priority will certainly be to ensure that every member feels and participates in the global trade equally, not some people having an upper hand like the way we see China or the US. And also for developing nation, already, you know, there is some stallment in some of the talks regarding subsidies in agriculture that are stalled since the Doha round of talks back in 2001. And so developing countries are pushing to ensure that subsidies that are extended in the agriculture sector have huge impact on exporting markets in the continent. So those are some of the challenges that Dr. Ngozi has to address. Reforming the body. A lot of people, as you see, beginning of...
Agnes, just a second. If you might be respectfully caught in there, let's take a break. We'll be back with you on that thought. We'll be back, everyone. Stand by. A very big day for Nigeria and for the World Trade Organization. With Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala now in the saddle. A very big day in the history of the World Trade Organization, the appointment of the first female and the first African to hold that position as the head of the World Trade Body. Let's continue this conversation quickly with Agnes Gitau, who is a managing partner at GBS Africa, speaking with us from London. Thank you so much, Agnes, for standing by while we took that break. In the acceptance speech, which Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala delivered a couple of hours ago this afternoon, she spoke about the challenges that she faced, and she says, quote, they are numerous and tricky. Do you agree that the challenges she faced are numerous and tricky?
Absolutely. Boston, as I was saying earlier, Dr. Ngozi has to address the short-term economic nationalism policies we've seen in the last in the last year, led by Trump politics as well as politics of Brexit. So that's one of the things that she'll need to address. Also, she takes over in the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic, we've already seen a global nation that is a global society that is meant to work together. We already seen vaccine hoarding, whereby developed economies are hoarding, preventing other countries from accessing the vaccine. So there are a lot of challenges ahead. But as you say, her role mostly will be to lead from the back. As you say, as a DG of WTO, she's mainly the butler. She arranges the meeting, arranges the conversation, because WTO decisions and agreement are done under consensus. So yes, she has a perfect position to be able to direct the tone. However, her position, I can say however, her position is not very strong, because the members of WTO will have to agree and come together to a consensus.
Now, one critical area is women in trade, especially in Africa. And she mentioned that as well in her speech as well. You're an African in diaspora in the United Kingdom. When you look at women, how critical they are for trade, for inclusive growth, for financial inclusion, and for everything that we do on the African continent. So how critical do you think she will focus on women in trade in Africa moving forward?
Look, we've all known the importance of women in terms of promoting economic development, and WTO has been a leader in this. Back in 2017, under the previous Director General, they established Gender for Trade, an opportunity for WTO to push economic empowerment for women, promoting women to be able to access trade finance so that they can participate. In global trade. So yes, having a woman again who understands the challenges that women face in terms of participating fully in economic activity, I think gives an opportunity for women to celebrate too, because I do hope that this will be one of her driving agenda.
Okay, still speaking to agenda, she's mainstreaming vaccine and healthcare. How important do you think this is for her in hitting the ground running from the 1st of March?
Look, Dr. Ngozi understands the systems very well. She's worked for the World Bank. She's also sit on the board of Gavi, the vaccine body. So she is at a critical position, and I believe the right person to be able to sort of bring everybody on board so that we can get everybody vaccinated, because it really doesn't make sense to have people vaccinated in the developed economies while others in developing economies are struggling. So I think Dr. Ngozi's vision in regards to making sure that everybody has access to vaccine, and that COVID-19, which has had an impact on trade, is under control, will be priority for her. And I think she has the right network, the right leadership, and I'm sure this will be one of the items she's going to drive in her role.
What should the African continent, Agnes, what should the African continent push for with the WTO Director General? What should Africa push for?
We had more than 80 delegations take the floor.
Boston, we have an opportunity now under the ACFTA. I do hope the African continent can unite in terms of negotiation. Remember, in the past, our position at WTO has been very limited. We don't have capacity. At the same time, we didn't come to the table as a collective. So I do hope under the ACFTA that the African nations will come together, negotiate at equal with other countries, and under I do hope under Ngozi, who understands and who knows where we're coming from, hopefully we can have some insight. I do hope this works, that we can have some guidance and some hope that actually there's somebody behind us who will support Africa's voice at the WTO.
What's the view from diaspora community right now about Ngozi's selection as the 70th Director General of the WTO?
Look, it's that of caution. We are hopeful. I think it's also an important step towards promoting Africans and having Africans at global decision-making level, and we've not had, and you highlighted a few Nigerians there, Dr. Rama, Mr. the chair of Afrexim Bank, or the president of Afrexim Bank, also the president of AFDB. I think for us is that of caution, hoping that she succeeds and knowing the challenges that she will likely to encounter hours from this end is, that of caution and praying that she succeeds in this role, because if she does, if Dr. Ngozi succeeds, then Africa succeeds. And above all, I do hope that her being there, she has a vision of whereby trade can be beneficial for everybody, not just a few people, but that trade is beneficial, and that again she can restore the confidence in globalization.
Thank you so much, Managing Partner at GBS Africa. Thank you so much, Agnes Gitau, out of London. We thank you for your time this evening.